Everybody, Johnwicksnipin here with Dixie, which you'll see later because she's stealing my show. And now that I'm done talking about the big mouth, and I'm going to try to do as little of that as possible, but I'm not going to completely stop because there's just some outrageous things that are said by this man every so often. There actually are some things that he's been saying the last couple days that I'm going to get to a little later on in this video that I'm just trying to figure out where this man is coming from. But I do want to ask you guys what you think about two different strategies that we're going to have to start considering in order for us to try to get this thing kick-started and get this squeeze to happen already. As some of you might know, we've got another YouTuber out there by the name of Zane, who's kind of alluding to holding until July. Man, I hope that we can have some answers before July, I'll be honest with you. I know it's not that far away in the grand scheme of things, but I ask you guys this. If someone or if people told you last July to hold until this July, would you have done that? Or would you have thought it was just another move to get people to continue to hold? Just keep throwing them out 30, 60, 90 days so that they can hold until something happens. I don't know. So do we need to coordinate a buying attack? That's something that we have to consider. I hope you guys tell me in the comments what you think about that strategy. Just coordinate another buying attack, man. We can set it for a particular date, maybe fucking St. Patrick's Day. I don't know, the color green. We need fucking green at this point. Like money, like fucking the arrow, the green arrow going up. I don't know at this point, but we got to try to start figuring out. So that's the first thing that I want to know from you guys in the comments. The second thing I want to know is totally opposite from that strategy. Do we need to start thinking about coming down a particular percentage of our shares, maybe as high as 50%? Maybe if we own 1,000 shares, do we need to come down 500 and let this thing drop, and then play like the hedge funds do and then scoop them back up at a cheaper price and have more shares? It's just another strategy that I've seen out there that maybe we need to start considering. Sell a position, a part of our positions, 25%, 50%, 10%. I don't know. We gotta come up with the answers. If you guys have been following me from the beginning, you know that when I came on board, I came to kind of expose certain YouTubers, specifically the big mouth, and try to kind of get you guys to understand that no one should have too loud of a voice in this situation. In my opinion, everybody should be in this together. Every YouTube content creator should be in this together. If we are all on the same team and we all want the same end goal, which is to make money on this stock, and we believe it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, then my opinion is we all have to be in it together. No one person should be getting so much fanaticism from the community that the power that they've gained in YouTube and their voice makes them into like, I'm the top dog, I'm the leader, I don't got to talk to you, you're not even half as big as I am. I don't think that that's the right thing. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a guy that's part of the solution, not a guy who's sitting there saying, oh, you see, I told you this and I told you that and this is all because of me. So when I came out to expose all that, and now everybody's jumping on board and saying, yeah, you know what, I think this guy was right from the beginning, I also was saying along the way that we needed to start thinking about what ways they can figure out to get out of this stock. Now all of a sudden nobody's talking about $100,000 a share. People are not even talking about $1,000 a share. I read all my comments. I read comments on other people's videos and stuff like that. We're not even talking about that anymore. And I can tell you this, that if this is actually a thing where the hedge funds put out psychological warfare, it is working right now, and we need to try to control that. Because if not, we're going to fall apart, and all they're going to have to do is raise this thing up into the late 20s, maybe the early 30s, and you're going to see a mass exodus of this stock. And I hope that that's not the situation, because this only works out if we hold. It was a simple plan. It's not working right now, but it was a simple plan. The only way this stock rises is if we hold. So what happens now after everyone's psychologically fatigued and this share price maybe gets let go up to the 20s and 30s? I have a feeling that you're going to have people with much larger amounts of shares than the average person has, maybe something like 5,000, 10,000. I don't see those guys holding. I see those guys saying, you know what, I made a couple bucks, I'm out of here. And those big share blocks those are important. You know, the hundreds here and there, the average, those are important also, because, you know, all those together equal out to a large amount of shares. But the people with these large blocks, I don't know, can we trust people with large blocks of shares? The ones with 5,000 and beyond, maybe even 2,000 and beyond, to hold once this thing starts rising again, if it actually starts rising again. That's a question we have to ask ourselves. Are we able to trust those people in this community? So just to cover Big Mouth a little bit, as you guys can see now, he's extremely uncertain. And now he's trying to figure out how they're going to try to screw us. I was screaming that out about a month ago. I said, man, instead of worrying about how much money we're going to hold until, we need to figure out how the hell are these guys going to find a way out of this. And now all of a sudden you get the Big Mouth. He's uncertain. Now he's trying to say that our shares are fake that we own, that we're on an algorithm, and it's just more conspiracy type rhetoric that gets people confused again. And a lot of people say, aha, he makes sense there. There is no factual evidence about anything that he is talking about. He is now just spitballing and seeing what the fuck sticks on the wall. And like I said, that's all very dangerous for this situation. You know, you can't keep throwing out these crazy ideas that you really don't know anything about. I want to tell you guys my story real quick, because it's something that I've never spoken about. And now that we're getting to know each other a little bit, you guys are getting to know the type of person that I am. I want to give you a little quick story about how I got involved into this. So about 3 years ago, I used to just dabble around buying stocks. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I still really don't know what I'm doing. Who does? Just like in poker, you're never, just almost in any situation like this, you never perfect it. Like you can't ever be the most perfect basketball player. You cannot have figured everything out when you play poker. And in the stock market, there is no way that you have figured out the stock market and you always make money every time you put your money in. So having said that, when I got into the stock market 3 years ago, this was about a year before the pandemic, I didn't know at all what I was doing. I bought some stocks, and when you definitely don't know what you're doing, you're definitely going to lose. And I did lose my money. I said, you know what? This is just not for me. I'm not interested. I don't know what I'm doing, this, that, and the other. So all of a sudden, as we got into the pandemic and everybody was at home and forced to basically stay at home, I started to hear a lot about, from friends and family, about meme stocks and the GameStop fiasco and stuff like that. And it got me to look back into the stock market. And now all the apps came out, Webull, Robinhood, and all that stuff. And I remember AMC being the talk, the next GameStop. So I looked into it. I got involved. I then started watching Trey, Matt, and Keenan Grace. Matt would be on in the morning. Guy was making fucking tons of money, man. I mean, tons on these super chats. Like, I would look at it and I'd be like, how the fuck is somebody paying this kid $500 just so that their question could be answered? And I remember at that time too, you know, like the whole thing with kids that were playing video games and stuff like that, and they were streaming their gameplay live, and they were getting donations and stuff like that randomly. And I'm like, who does this shit? I don't just give money away just to give it away. So I'm watching this guy, Matt, and as I started learning about AMC and stuff like that, I got involved. I'd watch him every day. I was subbed. I was on the notification. I would know immediately. He would come on like at whatever it was, 9:30. And he kind of pulled me in. He pulled me in. And then I'd watch, during the middle of the day, I'd watch Trey. And at the end of the night, I'd watch Keenan. And Keenan was like, he really would talk about like the dark shit, like the FTDs and the naked shares, the naked shorting and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, you know, I got to get involved in this, man. This sounds like for real. So I got involved, day in and day out. I had my AMC, I'd watch them, it'd go up, it'd go down, but clearly whenever it went up, nobody was ever selling because you weren't supposed to. You were supposed to keep holding for high numbers. It wouldn't come. Finally, I got out at some point. I would say this was like maybe 8 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. I got out. I said, you know what? It's just, it's not happening. I got to do other things with my money, so on and so forth. So I let it go, but I'd always look. I'd always look at the stock. I'd still follow it. Nothing would really ever happen. You know what I mean? Like we had that run up to the 70s and stuff like that, but nothing with respects to what everybody was putting out there with these high numbers ever happened clearly. So I watched the stock. All of a sudden, you know, I had my money again. I pulled it up again, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get back in. What a great time. Nothing has happened in all this time. I can get back in and maybe catch that rocket before it takes off. So who was I looking for information? Because some of these guys were pulling away from AMC. Matt, Trey, and Keenan. They were kind of pulling away from AMC. All of a sudden, who pops up? Lou versus Wall Street. And Lou, if you're watching this video, sir, you kept me in this stock. And let me tell you something. I know there's a lot of you out there that are in this play because of Lou. I know it. I know it for a fact. It may not be an actual fact that I can prove, but I know in here, in my heart, I know that a lot of you guys are just like me. You stayed in this fucking stock because that fucking loudmouth motherfucker would come out every single day and fucking just start spitting this conspiratorial language, and you were like, wow, that all makes sense. Wow, this is so real. Like, yeah, I gotta hold, I gotta do it. And the guy first started off with apes. He also started off with high numbers, 10, 50,000, 100,000, and look where he's at now. So if you guys ask me if I have a little resentment towards Lou, yeah, I do. I definitely do. And I think a lot of you do too, because he has kept people in this play. This is something that I kind of said on an earlier video. I said, listen, this guy, it's not a good thing to go out and comment and say, oh, if not for Lou, a lot of people would have sold out already. Well, you know what? Maybe to their benefit they would have sold. Maybe they wouldn't be down as much right now. Maybe they would have gotten out in the high 20s, and right now they're looking at the stock breaking $15, and they could say, hey, I'm going to jump back in. So the guy definitely had me on the hook. I was watching him every day until I started to say, you know what? I've heard this type of language already with the last administration, with the QAnon conspiracy. I was like, you know what? This is the same type of shit. It's like these breadcrumbs that you keep throwing out. You got these dates that people look forward to, and then when they get there, they don't pan out, and then you spin it a different direction. Like, I didn't really say that. I'm saying this now, and now this is your future date. It was the same thing with the QAnon thing. Oh, but Trump's going to be president again. It's going to happen on this day. It's going to happen on that day. And it's the same exact strategy. So what did I do? I came out on YouTube. I stopped my basketball content creation. I said, you know what? I want to start figuring this out because all my money's in here. And I want to expose this guy because honestly, it's just a bunch of bullshit at this point. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He has no clue what he's talking about. And he has a very loud microphone. He has the loudest microphone in the community, in my opinion. Yeah, the other guys still have all those subs, but their views aren't equaling out to 500, 600,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? You have that many subscribers and you drop a video and it only hits 30, 40,000. That either means no one's paying attention to you anymore, or you've got ghost subs. A ghost sub to me is just someone that has clicked on your channel to sub, to do a favor, or you paid for mass amounts of subscribers that are lined up in a room somewhere in fucking Fiji or some shit like that, where it's a big ass room full of computers where it's just like, all right, click a sub on this channel, 10,000, put all the computers to click subscribe to this channel. So there you have it, folks. Like, that's literally where I started and where I'm at. Literally. Some of you guys probably feel the same way. Some of you guys probably like, man, you know what? That's exactly why I'm here. You know, I started watching this guy, and I've been here ever since. And all we've done is lose money from that point on. And I just want to try to figure it out now because, folks, I don't know. I really don't know at this point what's going to happen with this. And we're gonna have to figure it out, because I personally, I've said this many times on my videos, I'm not holding this thing forever. Like, when am I gonna hold this? In the afterlife? Like, I want to see this money in my lifetime. I'm not gonna keep going out these dates, July, December 2023. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, apparently from what we've been sniffing around at, it's already there. The SEC is involved. The numbers don't add up. There has to be something going on in the back end, but we just can't uncover it. We can't expose it fully, and the powers that be won't let us do it. And they're just kind of like, yeah, we're looking into it. Check back with us in another 50 years. And that's the only thing I'm really worried about. So I'm going to leave you guys with that today, and I'm going to turn it over to Dixie. She's just chilling today. She doesn't really want to do too much. She's not really feeling the grass dives. Yesterday was a better day than today. We're already starting in some weird fucking downtrend on the stock. At the time of this recording, I don't know if it's recovered, but let's see what she has to say. What's going on, Dixie? You know, you're taking over this channel. They don't really want to see me anymore. They want to see you chilling out between palm trees and shit like that in Florida, just hanging out by a lake and enjoying your life as a 13-year-old dog. What do you got to say to anybody, Dixie? No? You don't have much? A little smile? All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, we're going to leave you with that today from Johnwicksnipin and Dixie Girl. Thank you for watching, guys.